Okay. Um. Yeah, my daughter's asking me. I thought you were already doing this. I mean, this morning when I asked her, uh, that I need to start trying to focus on. Oh, sorry. On these podcasts, and I wasn't thinking. I don't know. I had this one for 10 years, and I just barely put on it, and then I've had this other one. I'm just starting, so I mean, it's been around. It's just I give up because I life happens. We're now in. We're still in on November the 10th. This is part two. I have to be thinking, and I thought I would just go ahead and try to figure out what I want to do. Okay, and that's what I was doing, and I went and researched and looked through pieces of paper and stuff and seeing what I could do for the podcast, and I decided to try this. Okay, I do have a topic, and you probably saw up there is how is it that you are an artist and why aren't you making money? Uh, I have no blasted idea. Uh, it I have done this for so long that for a while there, all I did was give away my artwork, and now that I can't do, I not that I don't want to work, because I have these Karens that want to say that I'm lazy and I don't want to work. And some of them are also saying, well, I get at anything. Well, I've been through that. If you go back to my job things, I mean, I've been through that. As soon as I got into college, I mean, I took a class when I was 16. My mom and I took a class on how to, back then, it was the first beginning of the scanners. Of all things, the scanners, the registers where you just do that you do now at the what's that, the self serve. I mean, we was learning how to do it and learning how to put the stuff in the bags, and the bags back then were paper, they weren't the plastic ones. And I took the class with mama and everything, and I got the certificate, and I started doing putting applications in. I mean, applications to everywhere I could think of. I put an application here in Big Star, because you're 16, you can go, and you're 16, you're supposed to be able to get a job. Well, I go and put it over here at Fred's. I mean, those are the main one places that I wanted to work at. And you know, uh, we lived way out 15 miles away. I measured it that one day. I had to go sub at my old school when it was the alternative school. Uh, it was, and I decided to go ahead and push the thing and see how far it was, and it was 15 miles, and that's just at the driveway. It was another half a mile to get to the house. Yeah, it was another half a mile to get to the house. So, um, so at 16 I tried. 17 didn't care. 18, I was getting ready to go to the. Well, I did. Well, we had to work. Uh, I wanted to go. I got hooked up with the mission trip. I wanted to go on a mission trip, and they were going to Spain, and I took Spanish in high school. I mean, I remember the bit. I knew how to count to 10 is what I can remember, and I remember some of the colors. Uh, when I was little, I mean, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. I mean, that's all I could ever remember, and I would, sound just like that when I would say it. And I took Spanish, both Spanishes in high school. I mean, one of our church members offered a Spanish class, so I went and took that with him. He was an engineer. Um, uh, literally an engineer. He worked down here at one of these factories, and he was an engineer in the factories, and he wanted to teach us Spanish. So, you know, I guess I could have spoke it in an Italian if one of the older people wanted to. I probably could have learned if they wanted to have a class of Italian. Um, they could have had it, but we really didn't do very much growing up. All I did was go to school and go to church because we really didn't have any much. Oh yeah, this is one of the topics from the other thing. Didn't know how poor we were. Really didn't. Dad worked as on the farm, and of course we'd get hand-me-downs all the time, and um, you know, there's four of us, and it was hard, especially when Dad went through one of his depression phases. I mean, it was really, really hard, and we lived on the farm, and the farm went bankrupt, and my dad had to go to Memphis to go to work, and he worked and and had these cars that were runabouts and everything. I mean, literally runabouts. I mean, they fall and break apart, but it was before my dad could, go get a part and he could fix it. But once the cars started getting a brain or a computer, you know, and then he went ahead and took that class. He didn't like it because of all the computers. He didn't want to do it. And my dad became a material handler for what did he say it was 12 years. I mean, loud noises every day, and he hated loud noises. And being a Vietnam vet, of course, uh, so that was interesting. Growing up, and oh yeah, let me get back to the topic. How is it that I'm not making money? I have like I said, I don't know the area, or I'm not a famous person, or uh uh when we moved out here, we were kind of like the like the weird people, really, really strange. I mean, we pretty much kept to ourselves. I mean, my mama may went and talked to people and everything. I remember Miss Dolores. We would be walking the dogs, and we were really into the Dukes of Hazzard, and she had the Dixie on her car, and she would go and blow her car when she come by, and of course she would talk to my mom. Oh, let me give you a little backup. Miss Dolores was an artist. She When my mom knew her, she was just starting her art thing, and she may have been doing it for like 10 years or so. Um, so when she passed away, she had a whole room that was even had the pictures on the roof, on the ceiling. I mean, she had pictures everywhere of everything, watercolors, acrylics. I mean, she wanted to be she was an artist, and of course she would sell, and her being who she was and everything. I mean, I'm officially really, I knew about her and everything, but I never really got to be at her house. It was over here by the levee. I never got to go to her house. The stories but her artwork was so pretty. Only reason why remember her and know of her is because whenever I my mama found out that they were having art meetings. And so my mama started taking me to these art meetings. Me being I guess I was a little kid. I don't remember. I think I was about 14. And then whenever she found out, I do remember a few of them. And then whenever I got older, I went ahead and became a member of them and stayed with the member with them for quite a while until, money again, like always, everything, money always gets tight. And when it gets tight, I have to focus on other stuff. Literally, I have to focus on that thing and I have to drop whatever I'm doing. And it's just been a thing that I do. I, I have to, I don't, I can't multitask. Not very good because I don't know really why I can't multitask very well. Because I would always, uh, what am I trying to say? I would say that, I would always get down on myself. Maybe it's just something that was done to me. I don't know why, but every time I would get something and somebody asked me to do it and I do it and everything, then it's not the way they wanted me to do it. And so I had to wind up doing it again, messing it up, and have to redo it. I hated that part of growing up and then of life. I hated that. I mean, at some of these jobs, I mean, literally, I would get blamed for stuff, and I'm actually doing what they showed me to do. I mean, exactly down to the last, cross the same letters, cross the same T, dot the I's and cross the T's, and the T's and the dot the I's and the J's and cross the T's, and then I'll get told that I still ain't doing it right. I hate that part of my life. I mean, literally, I hate that part of my life. I mean, I thought I was doing it right, and then I'm told that I'm not. But let me get past that. Of course, why I'm not making money as an artist? Because, of course, life happens, and when you're in a royal place and someone down the street can do exactly the same thing you can do for a lot cheaper, and they like them better than they do you, you get forgotten about, which pretty much happens. I mean, I've had all kinds of stuff happen to me. And, not only by my own family, but by people that don't even know it. Like I can remember, here's one I can remember. We're supposed to be this is in language arts. We're supposed to be making an art a little advertisement. So, and that was the thing that we're supposed to do. Okay. This is in the 80s. So, and all these on the commercials and stuff, you see all these people in these punk rocker hairstyles and stuff, and of course, I think we just got a color TV, and that wasn't an old TV. I mean, most of the time we had an old TV, and then on top of that, it's like as big as this computer. The screen was no bigger than this computer, and we had to watch TV and the color TV, and so I decided to make up this idea. And I even did the little thumbnails of it, not knowing that that was part of being an artist. So I did a little cartoon of, one person with this color hair on this day. They washed it in this shampoo. It was this color this day. And then every day it would be a different color. And then on the last day, it would be all the colors all together. And so, being me, I thought that that's what I was going to do, was going to be it for me. Well, the teacher decided that she wanted to have it with partners. And so I got allotted with this one partner. Well, I waited and I waited and I waited, and it got deadline for the thing, and I thought I was still involved in it even though I didn't do anything. But apparently she must have told me and I wasn't paying attention or something. She told me that she had to decided to do something on her own and told everybody else except for me. And I have been done that many, many times. And believe me, that is not fun at all. To have somebody tell everybody else and then don't tell you. Oh, I really hate that. Okay, let me digress. So I, got up in my hand-me-down clothes, got close to, she did her presentation and everything. I thought I was still involved in her presentation. Nope. And then I got up, she did her presentation. I got close, close to her because that's what I thought it was supposed to be a group thing. Next thing I know, the teacher asked me, did I have anything? I go, no, because I pretty much threw away what I had did. And I threw it away. And, I lost that. But when you have that done to you many, many times, before, and then you actually have somebody else that's not part of your family to do it to you, that's not good thing. Is it jealousy? I have no idea if the reason why I'm not making any money or anything is jealousy, because I know for one thing, I had these little kids while I was a sub. I had these kids just because I took art classes, took all the art classes that I could, been practicing longer than were alive, and I go and I do something that he apparently didn't like. I'm at a school that their mascot, of course, is a little imp, and so I draw an imp on the board. The mascot. I pretty much was drawing the mascot, and he got jealous of it. And then him and his friends, well, they were extra upset because their teacher decided to quit, and I just happened to have been lauded to be the substitute. Well, he goes and he since this is what was it, 8th grade or ninth grade, he just realized what a petition is. And so he goes and he petitions and has as many kids as he could in that class to sign to get me out. I've had that done to me so many times when I was a sub. I mean, I just want to state this. I even had a class. These girls were taking selfies. I was a photographer for 8 years, so I had to learn. I took one place thought that I got the photography job because I took their class. I didn't get the job on what they showed me. I didn't even get a job in photography. I mean, I didn't get that photography job until about what, 5, 6 years later. Anyway, it's time for a break, and I'll try to remember where I stopped at here. And yeah, it was a correspondence course that I decided I wanted to take photography with, and that's what I wanted to do. And I passed it. They had f-stops and all that in there. But the job that I was doing for the portrait studio had nothing to do with f-stops and stuff. But I had to learn that anyway. Okay, let me go ahead and take this break, and then I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, now to get back to why. Well, like I said, life happens. And then I don't know if it's jealousy or is I'm not in the right area or what. I mean, as soon as I got out of college, pretty much the only reason why, like I said, only reason why I got the job at Burger King is because I worked with the manager before. And I worked with him, of all things, I worked with him at Pizza Hut. And then, all that thing that happens with the Burger King, and then the year I couldn't find anything and was a uh, substitute for somebody else, and then another job for 4 years, and then like someone said, I must have an 8-year thing. But every time that would happen, my art like would be considered a hobby. But I still practiced. I still did. I mean, one time I did working at the embroidery place. I mean, I went in to try to be the graphic artist for the embroidery. Basically, all you do with the embroidery to fix it for stitching, you put it in the program, it stitches it, the illustration, it stitches it, it programs it to the disc, and you just stick the disc in the machine, and that's all. And then I, uh, since I was there and they needed somebody in the back, they put me in the back. And so for that 8 months there, I I worked in the back, you know, catching thread breaks, needle breaks, making sure the designs were what they were supposed to be by the color and everything. But see, most of the colors were exactly the same. I think I know I messed up a few shirts because the color and this other color that they had was exactly the same. Um, it just and it confused me. And then of course they left me on there the head the machine I was supposed to be on. There's supposed to be two people on the machine. Regardless, there was supposed to be two people on the machine. One of them hooping, putting the backing and putting the stuff on and hooping the and then another one to run back and forth and make sure the thread was threaded and everything, the position and all that was correct. Well, they left me on that head by myself. He was busy, and they were stressing because they had to get that order out. Well, I figured that he told us not to do it, but I went ahead and did it anyway because where the position where they wanted the logo, it was like way up here on their shoulder, and it's like, why do you want the logo way up on the shoulder when most of everything that has a pocket, most of the shirts that had the pocket just had it above the pocket? Well, I messed up. Apparently, that's why I got fired. I didn't get the position right, which it looked a lot better because it was just like everybody else's, and the logo's right, and I just messed up, and they left me on it by myself, and I had to do hoop and cut and all that. I hate jobs they think that I'm fast enough that I could do all the positions. Oh, I hated that. I hated jobs that I had to do all the positions. I mean, there was a couple of times that I mean, it was just me and the manager at Burger King and at the Hardee's. I mean, it was just me and the manager, or I was the manager. It was just me and me and the other cook, and that was it. I mean, I was shift manager then, and then of course, like I said, I get blamed for stuff. I mean, that time when I cut everything down to part time, they decided to blame me that things weren't getting clean enough. I hated that part. And then, of course, at Hardee's, that one time, someone asked me, "Are you racist?" I'm like, "No," because I wouldn't talk to nobody. I'll just go in there, make the biscuits, do my job, and then clock out and go home. That's when I was making the biscuits. And okay, and I guess I'll go ahead and go to a different topic. Uh, art styles. Well, I've always uh it really frustrated my professor at college that I could not stick with a style. I would jump over here to make it more cartoony. Then I would jump over here to make it more realistic. And I would jump. I would jump, make it look like Rodin, and then I make it look like Van Gogh, and then half the time I make it look like Lichtenstein. And I mean, sorry, that's art. That's for my art nerd kicked in. I mean, I would copy just about any and do the style. I do have a style. When I do portraits, they're not exactly realism, and they kind of look a little cartoony. Uh, but they're not hyper. They don't look like the photograph. They just look what I see. Which, having poor eyesight, always had poor eyesight. But I see the lights, I see the darks, I see everything that I'm supposed to see. And then I guess I'm supposed to take the artistic license and change it. And most people don't like it. Most people like to have it mimic or like a photocopy, be a copy machine of the artwork. I mean, give me something to somebody else. I can do it similar to what they are. I mean, two. I had two stop and desist once. One was of this. I did a painting from a photograph that my mama had. My mama, when she was younger, she would get photographs from you know, it was back in the time where you can mail off and write a letter and you get a get a signature and get pictures from it. Well, I happen to had one with Elvis in the red suit. And so I decided to copy it. And of course I put my style in it and everything. And then I tried to sell it. Well, I got a stop and desist letter from doing it. Mainly because, I'm in the area and come to find out that they're very strict on it right here, especially if you're a local person. And then I had another one um, a few years back that you know, you can get all kinds of pictures off the internet. So I decided to get some records and we're doing singers and musicians on records. The lady bought all of them except for the two I got in my studio right now. The two I got in my studio, I got well, she didn't get the Roy Orbison. No, no, she did. That's the stop and desist was the Roy Orbison. It's just I got some random record that was at the flea market or somebody was chunking, and I would take gesso and put it on there and paint it, from a photograph. Um, Same way. I mean, I did, of course, the vinyl is so brittle that if you mail it and you don't do it up right, it'll break. Well, I didn't know, or I hadn't really had anybody buy something like that. Same with a plate. I really never shipped a plate before. I never really shipped very many artworks that I had. I mean, I even had one of them that the frame broke, and then they got all upset at me because of the materials that I had, and this was on a website that's supposed to be, and then I get told on that website, I got told that it don't matter what your income is, you should be able to do it perfectly for that amount of money that they were paying for it. Yeah. Going next topic I got written down on here is pricing. Okay, most of the time, okay, I live in an area that you go to Memphis and you got something in Memphis and you do something in Memphis, they can charge way up there. I mean, I met a guy that acts one time, introduced myself, and he started talking to me. He actually did the mobile sculptures that are that are in town, in Memphis, where the wind blows them and they do all kinds of weird stuff. And he was an older guy, and I got to meet him. And I mean, I got to meet a lot of people about that part, and about the pricing. I mean, I go to the art store. My husband and my daughter, I call it my toy store. They don't really like for me to go there because I will go and I would just go, and just fall in love with it. I mean, they got art books. I mean, I got an anime book for my daughter there. And then I also got two books, two books of human anatomy. I got a book on comic book there. I mean, I got a lot of. I think that's where I got most of my art business books, was over at the art center down in downtown Memphis. I mean, I even applied for a job there. I think I did it about twice, and I got turned down from both of them. And I was way up in my 20s and 30s. I mean, I should have been able to, get a job there because I had retail experience. But no, I didn't get that. But I still like to go. But I'm still worried about my car, and and right now I don't have the money for it, and pricing. Yeah, I'll keep looking at the pricing, and everybody fusses about it. But then I go to another person, they're fussing because, oh, they had to buy one tube of paint. Okay, yeah, these a friend of mine, uh these paints that I got in here. I mean, I know one tube in there. If I had to buy it by itself, is $60. And then I know some of the paint brushes, oh, they get way up high. And the canvases, oh, just going to the art center and just seeing the prices is like, oh, I wished I had this, I wished I had that. I mean, even a big sketchbook was like $40. I mean, even a pre-stretched canvas that is my height square was $50, and that was with the gesso on it, pre-stretched, everything. But I wouldn't have been able to put it in my car to bring it home. I mean, yeah, someone gifted me some oils, and I think some of the oils go back to the '60s, because I don't know when Miss Mary was doing her artistic stuff. And most of the time, most of the folks around here, they retire, and then that's what they do. They're painting and drawing, or they can't do nothing else. And that, just gets a little frustrating. And then they, of course, most people will go, "Well, I got this person down here who can do it a whole lot cheaper than you." And I'm like, okay, thank you. Or I tick them off and get them all upset because I I want it at such and such price, but no, they don't want to give it to me. I mean, you got to think, I had the richest man that I know, and I wanted to do a portrait of his dog. He came in with a basket full of working one time at the studio. He comes in there and he had a basket. I mean, literally full of nothing but pictures. And, he started showing me a few. And I said, I'd like to, make a painting of this. And then I did a pre-painting of it and show it to him. And he said, yeah. And then I go and make it to him. And all I got for that was just the amount for the just the materials. And what I did was got the cheapest canvas that Walmart had, and I already had the paint, the acrylic paint. And only requirement I had to have on it is I had to have the 333 on there, 333. Um, and he got to take it and got to go home with it. I mean, this dude go barefoot, and my mama knew him when he was, back in I guess whenever he would come over here, I guess this was the closest Walmart. I guess she saw him over here at the one down here on Broadway. Yes, the Walmart here was on Broadway, and then it was up here where the Kroger is now, and then it's over here then it's over at the Supercenter. See, I've been here so long. I think uh, up the street there's a bookstore that says 46 years that they've been here, and that's about as long as I've been here. 46 years living here. And pricing, oh, it's so hard to price your stuff, especially when you're doing it and you have no famous name and no income coming in, and you don't really you're old and you can't really get a job or your knees hurt or your body or people look at you and get all upset at you just looking at you, and you breathe wrong on them and they get upset. I mean, I've been through that, still going through that. Well, anyway, um I gotta think what I gotta do. uh uh so my pricing, it fluctuates. And then I just had to talk to a guy, you know, supposed to be helping with business plans and stuff, and my pricing's too high. And I'm like, why is my pricing's too high? But these other people could have the same pricing and have higher pricing, and people will flock to them. I mean, yeah, it's marketing. It's something. I guess I know I don't do it right because all I ever do is just go to work, which I don't work anymore because my husband got really bad sick and decided to stay home with him. And then, of course, this craziness that happened. Okay, my time is up for this part. I will continue or start something new on the next episode. So be sure to subscribe and check out my art on Laura's blog. I didn't do any art today, so I really did finished one yesterday, and all I've been doing today is just framing. Okay, you can purchase the originals or products with my work by Googling my name, Loretta Nash, Lore, or West Memphis artist. artists. And most of it will probably take you to Fine Arts America. I will see you in the next episode. And this is my first time in trying to make them longer. Yay! But I'll see you later. Bye.